The U.S. has declassified 2 diplomatic cables that touch on its commitments to a free Taiwan. The documents, which date back to 1982, state the U.S. arms sales to Taiwan are to be adjusted based on China's actions.
The cables make clear that China had asked the U.S. to eventually end its arms sales to Taiwan, and that the U.S. did not agree. Instead, the U.S. said it expected arms sales to be reduced gradually, but that this expectation was conditional on China's commitment to peaceful resolution of the Taiwan issue.
People are concerned about the pretty sensitive timing to decrypt the 2 telegrams back in Reagan times. What's your opinion about that? The time is pretty sensitive.
I really can't comment on that right now.
Okay.
Unwilling to say more about the declassified cables, Christensen headed straight into the event. Earlier in Washington, a State Department official reaffirmed the U.S.'s commitments to Taiwan.
For nearly 4 decades, U.S. policy has been guided by the Taiwan Relations Act in 1979. I assure you that the United States is fully committed to upholding the Taiwan Relations Act, fulfilling our commitments under the 6 assurances as well.
After Assistant Secretary David Stilwell's video conference with Taiwanese officials, the AIT published the full text of 2 declassified cables from 1982. They concerned the August 17th communique and the 6 assurances. The AIT's press release contained images of the original cables, as well as a full Chinese translation. One document was sent to the AIT on August 17, 1982, by then U.S. Secretary of State George Shultz. It spelled out Washington's 6 assurances for Taiwan. It states that the U.S. has not agreed to set a date for ending arms sales to Taiwan. Also, the U.S. has not agreed to consult with the PRC on arms sales to Taiwan. The U.S. will not play a mediation role between Taipei and Beijing. In addition, the U.S. has not agreed to revise the Taiwan Relations Act, has not altered its position regarding sovereignty over Taiwan, and will not assert pressure on Taiwan to enter into negotiations with the PRC. The other cable was sent to the AIT 1 month earlier, on July 10th. It says, then U.S. President Ronald Reagan's approach to arms sales to Taiwan did not meet Deng Xiaoping's request for a commitment to end the sales within a certain period of time. The cable states that U.S. arms sales to Taiwan will not exceed the level in recent years, and that the U.S. expects a gradual reduction in its arms sales. But both those positions are conditional on China continuing to seek a peaceful resolution to the Taiwan issue. In the cable, the U.S. stressed that it was not agreeing to a final date for ending arms sales to Taiwan.
So given these various actions, you may wonder whether the United States is trying to signal policy change. The truth is, all those things I just outlined are entirely consistent with our longstanding policy.
The release of official government documents is seen as a warning to Beijing about American commitments to Taiwan.